Hi guys! Back in 2006, someone at Taito looked at the 20-year-old Top Gun license, then took a look at the brand new Nintendo DS and said, let's make a flight combat game out of this. No movie tie-in, no Tom Cruise comeback, just a random cash grab 2 decades late to the party. And now, in 2026, looking back at this thing through the lens of 2 genuinely great Top Gun movies and the golden age of remasters, this game is a museum piece of how did this get approved? So buckle in, we're doing a deep dive on Top Gun for the Nintendo DS. Here's the timeline because it's kind of hilarious. The original Top Gun lands in 1986, huge box office, legendary soundtrack, and suddenly every kid in the 80s wants to go to aviation. Flash forward to 2006 and Interactive Vision decides to roll out a DS game about it. So it launched in prime DS era, sandwiched between all-time great handheld games. And the weirdest part here, there was no new movie, no buzz about the Top Gun franchise, so nobody wanted this, but the license was about to run out, so why not squeeze something out of it? That's classic 2006 for you. Now, to be fair to this game, and I will be fair, if you dig through the old reviews, some people actually liked it. The controls felt snappy for a DS game, and the missions shook things up a bit. One minute you're buzzing through the clouds, the next you're weaving through desert canyons or flying at night in the rain. They threw in a free flight mode for target practice, and get this, real multiplayer. 4 players could dogfight, and you only needed 1 cartridge, which was pretty cool. It all sounds decent on paper. You chose between 3 jets, the F-14 Tomcat, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, and F-18 Hornet. You get 11 missions and 4 pilots from the movie. Maverick, Iceman, Jester, and even Slider got some love. And when you boot the game up, Harold Faltermeyer's Top Gun Anthem plays. That's it. That's basically the one moment all critics agreed was actually good. But let's not sugarcoat things. The reviews tore it apart back in 2006, and honestly, they were right. GameSpot's review is one of the most quotable takedowns in their history. Their critic opened by comparing the game to Slider, the character in the movie everyone makes fun of, saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, that just like Slider, this game stinks. They call the controls painfully simple. You steer with the D-pad, throttle with 2 face buttons, lock missiles with another, and that's basically the entire flight model. No real aerial maneuvers, no Mon turns, nothing that makes you feel like a fighter pilot. Pull back too hard and your plane just flips over in a way the reviewer described as disorienting, mostly because the graphics were so muddy you couldn't even tell which way you were facing half the time. GameFAQs jumped in too. They said every mission blurred together, dogfights felt repetitive, and with a little effort, this could have been the DS's answer to Ace Combat. But, well, it wasn't. And the technical side was rough. Textures were described as muddy and ugly across all 3 jets. The big explosions you'd expect from a jet blowing up were bad too. Reviewers said enemies just vanished in a thin little puff of smoke. Underwhelming doesn't begin to cover it. Then there's the voice acting. Multiple reviews single this out. Repetitive lines, poor audio mixing, your wingman yelling the same combat callouts over and over until you want to put the DS down. GameSpot's reviewer literally wrote that after the 200th time hearing, "He's got a lock on me," you'd want to throw the console through a window. Metacritic stuffed it into high 30s out of 100. That's not hidden gem territory. That's more don't even think about it score. One reviewer joked the gameplay was so boring they were ready to fly into a mountain to just end the mission. But here's the funniest bit. The developers barely bothered with the Top Gun license. Aside from the names and the anthem, there's nothing that screams Top Gun. No Kenny Logans and no Danger Zone. You buy a Top Gun game and get the 180s movie where Danger Zone is missing, which is a big fail and miss for even the 2006 era. So it's basically a generic flight game in a cheap Top Gun Halloween costume. Now, zoom out. In 2026, Top Gun Maverick revitalized the brand. The world rediscovered its love for this stuff, and Hollywood went full throttle on nostalgia. Remasters happened, soundtracks got vinyl releases, everybody's happy. Except on the game front. Somehow, there's still no genuinely great Top Gun game. This DS game from 2006 is still one of the only Top Gun games on a Nintendo platform, unless you count the original NES version that actually sold millions and still gets shoutouts from retro fans. So the legacy winds up weirdly poetic. A beloved NES hit, 20 years of silence, then a DS flop nobody asked for, followed by more silence while the movies finally get their second wind. It's a perfect example of what happens when companies pump out licensed games just because they can, not because they have a clue what would make a great one. So is Top Gun for the Nintendo DS worth tracking down in 2026? Honestly, if you're a Top Gun completionist, a DS collector, or you just love laughing at mid-2000s licensed cash grabs, sure, it's a cheap curiosity. For literally anyone else looking for a good flight combat game on a handheld, critics in 2006 already told you the answer. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button. Let me know in the comments what forgotten licensed game I should cover next. Thanks for watching.